excited to have you guys on officially and like walk through this and stuff like that. Obviously, we just saw each other in Austin, like literally, what was that, 4 days ago? That was a
Yeah,
good time.
Yeah.
that was
Yeah, that
awesome.
was fun. You got to do that again. I know
Yeah.
you got other cities to be, but for real, come back to Austin.
It's not too far, man. I think it was a 3 hour drive on the dot. So like I could be back there literally next weekend. We got to do some
Yeah,
rock
Dude,
climbing.
exactly.
yeah, I mean, I know you obviously got a business and you got kids and all, but dude, if you want to just come down, we'll show you a good time. We got a guest room. Y'all are more welcome to stay.
Hell yeah, man. That's awesome, guys. Well, hey, I'm glad that you're here to talk about the academy as well. And we had a lot of fun this past week with a lot of you guys in Austin. But tell me more about like the before and after effect of what the academy has provided. Kind of what your journey was, where you were 6 months, let's call it 6 months ago, and then current day where you're at.
Uh, I think we kind of had like different experiences because we started at different levels. Like I was telling you, like when I worked at Apache, we had Fidelity people come give us seminars and stuff. So I knew about like maxing out the 401k and the Roth and all that stuff, but I never felt empowered to be able to like design my own portfolio. And even on Fidelity, picking those like target date funds and stuff. Even then, I feel like they're very, very conservative. I don't mind risk at all. So it's really cool to be able to like formulate my own portfolio. I feel way more empowered. I know way more about tax and stuff now. And then
Yep.
all these other side hustle deals, like collectively, that's where we're at now. We got the budget, we got our finances, all the investment accounts. Now it's time to like make actual money. You know what I mean? Aside
Yeah.
from just our job checks.
And I'm not a Nigerian prince, you found out too.
Exactly.
Love
He
it.
thinks he's funny.
So walk me through. Okay, so you guys went through this process. Obviously, it's like 6 months or whatever. In the beginning, you were probably the Nigerian prince comment I joke about because people always wonder about that. Like, what was like the skepticism at first? And be brutally honest, I would love to hear it.
Okay, I mean,
Can I do this one?
yeah, please go.
Yeah, go for
Okay.
it.
Well, I guess for me, which is something we discussed with Heather, like my parents growing up, what ultimately led to their divorce was like, well, a lot of things, but one big thing was like financial issues. And like my parents are really smart, but for some reason just kept making like really stupid financial decisions. Like I would see them get excited about the next newest shiny thing. "Oh, we're going to invest in this. We're going to become so rich." And then $10,000 in, they've lost it all. It's all done. We're on to the next thing. Okay, let's throw some more money at this next thing. It's going to make us rich. It never happened. We like kept like, fighting our way to stay like above ground. Like, yes, I like always had everything I needed. Like my mom was incredible about being able to provide, but it just like I just constantly kept seeing them like lose. And then I kind of like at one point saw the same thing like in Chris, right? Like so he's really excited like about getting these side hustles going. So he found this thing that he really liked online. I'm going to throw $3,000 into it. I'm going to go through this whole course. All I have to do is get through this course, and then I'm going to be making bank, right? Well, then work and our marriage and our wedding and everything gets in the way. He doesn't finish the course. Still hasn't finished the course to this day.
It's a funnel design course, by the way.
And that $3,000 was already spent and he wasn't doing the course. And then he's coming to me like, "Oh my God, I'm going to take this $10,000 Airbnb course. And then we're going to be doing Airbnbs and we're going to be making so much money. And it's this thing that I don't understand." And I'm just like, "No, nope." And immediately I'm just like, "We're not doing this. We're not becoming my parents." Like, no, like we're not throwing money at things. And so then, hey, this guy Budget Dog on Instagram, seems like a totally legitimate, awesome dude online. Like, I like his memes and his little squares, and like, and we're gonna do this course because I can get it at a discount right now, and we're just gonna go for it. This is gonna solve all of our financial problems. And I'm just like, oh no, here we go again. But then he
Did you
like
guys
this
consult? Did you
time
guys
when he showed
consult or did he just go for it?
he actually showed me everything, and like we consulted on it, and like I was like, "Okay, I believe in this. I think it's totally legitimate, but I think we should purchase it at this point in time." And then
Sure.
I think I did come home one day and he's like, "I just want to tell you, I bought the budget dog course, but I promise you this is going to solve all of our issues." And it actually did. So I am 100% like sold.
I'm glad it
Again,
wasn't another part of that story in a bad way.
Yeah.
I think the selling point, I think I told you this, like the selling point for your stuff is like, okay, yeah, a couple grand course, but over the lifetime of an average investor's lifespan, that's fucking nothing. You know what I mean?
Right.
And the amount that you'll make, it's like the amount we could have made or that we will make now having taken your course far outweighs the cost of the course up front.
Yeah,
And
that's
also we had gotten like engaged and married in the span of like 2 months. And most people like do that over like a year or longer and save up all the money. And we didn't. So we just like got no interest credit cards with like 15 months to pay it off, put it all on there. Like we knew that we made enough money to do it. We knew that like it would eventually get taken care of. You know, we didn't really have a game plan for it. We still like we like to travel. Like we weren't gonna give that up. We knew that, you know, and like eventually we started to realize, okay, like we need a legitimate plan to handle this because we neither of us have ever taken on this much debt before, and like B, like time starting to run out.
yeah. I love that you guys mentioned that. It's like the cost, obviously, it for a lot of people, that's like, whoa, that's a pricey thing. But then you look at like the actual cost of not doing it and the cost of like not being educated in the financial space. I'm like, it's so much. It's like millions of dollars. It literally is. That's no
Yeah.
exaggeration. If you're paying a financial advisor fees all over the place, you get screwed, and that's just part of the game. And that's good that you brought up that point of like, hey, we've had previous experience with all these other online programs and they didn't pan out. That happens all the time, which is why it's hard sometimes to explain like it's for what it's worth, right? It's like I can only tell you I know it's worth it, but like that's all I can say at the end of the day.
Yeah.
What would you tell somebody that's on the sideline, trying to they want to get their finances right, they might feel a little nervous, but they just don't know what to do or where to start?
That's what we were consulting a lot of people on at the meetup on Friday because Chris has been saying, like, I feel like we just now have this like wealth of knowledge and we want to like share it with everybody we know because we want the people we love to succeed and we want to be able to do these things with them for the rest of our lives and have everybody in a financially stable position. We want their kids to succeed. Like, it's kind of like exactly how we feel about health and fitness, right? Like we feel like like taking care of our bodies like has unlocked this new key to life, you know, and like we want to share that with our friends, but it's hard. Like you don't want to be too pushy, you don't want to seem like a know-it-all, you know, like people tend to be pretty stubborn and defensive, and like you don't want to like, I don't know. You definitely don't want to mansplain your like female friends or anything. Like, or your sister is kind of like a fine line to walk, you know?
That's what I was gonna say. It's like you taught us how to fish, and now I would like to like share that knowledge with people that I love, right? So like
Yep.
my mom's in a fuck ton of like credit card debt. I want to get her shit lined out, and she's like
Yep.
72 or something like that. And she's about to stay with us for the next 2 weeks, and I'm gonna go through all her finances and just kind of like see what I don't even know what she has, you know what I mean?
Sure.
And then my sister, like she was saying, like anytime we tell my sister and her husband like a health or fitness thing, it's almost like, oh, you fucking hippies, like all y'all do is I don't know, cold plunge in the morning and Huberman and fucking work out. Like,
And of course, y'all are judging us for our lifestyle because we're not as good as you know,
Yeah,
like,
and she's
classic.
and she's a lawyer in Dallas. Her husband works in private equity. He used to work for EY. And
Yep.
so for me, at least like we had the fitness thing, but if I were to come to her and like tell her, hey, you guys should probably be doing this shit, whatever, like I don't know how much he knows, but I've tried to like skirt around that and like kind of basically show her the numbers, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
she's, as you can tell, very like stubborn about this stuff. I don't know that she'll eventually buy the course, but she did look at the course and she's just like, "Oh, Brad knows how to do all this stuff, blah blah, whatever." And I don't know, maybe he does, but
Yeah.
she's been recently calling me more and more, like, "Hey, so I have this old investment account. Like, what should I do about this?" You know, I'm asking her about her fees. She's like, "What fees? What are you talking about?" You know. So anyway,
she's been texting him, like trying to get little tidbits. Like you can tell she's like putting her defenses down. So yeah, I feel like honestly just trying to like slip it into conversations. Like one of my really good best friends, right? Like she had a kid. The dad doesn't want anything to do with the kid. He's not paying child support, and like,
yeah,
you know, we're godparents to this kid, and like, you know, we came to her and we were like, hey, you know, we really don't want to step on your toes. we know that as a single mother, like you've got this down, but like we love you and we love your child and we want to support him and his future in the best way that we possibly can. We know that we're going to be buying him presents for his entire life. Obviously, we're not going to stop buying him presents for like important things, but we know that we're going to be giving your kid money for his entire life. What can we teach you about a 529 account? Would you be willing to open something like that so that then we could give you money to like invest for him for big occasions, graduations, birthdays, things like that? Like, and she literally just, reached out to us the other day and was like, thank you so much for like kind of, being the fire behind my ass to get this going. He's already 2 years old. Like I've been thinking about this and I haven't done it, and now I did it because and she's, been reaching out to Chris with questions about how to do things, and it's awesome. Like I feel like we can like help the people we love, in more ways than one.
Yeah.
I love that guy. That's incredible to hear. Obviously, it sounds like a lot of people are starting to you guys are becoming the experts, right, in your circle, and people are starting to ask you and like sense like this literally always happens. Like what your experience always happens in the beginning. Like you start getting into fitness, you start getting into health, whatever it is, money, finance, or whatever, and everyone kind of like makes fun of you lightheartedly, and but they really deep down want to know the answers. They want to be like you guys. And that's how it starts off. And then they start to ask you questions. Oh, well, tell me more about this. And like it's kind of like a slow and gradual process. But it sounds like exactly what you're experiencing was exactly what I experienced too. Like literally, as soon as I started getting serious about my life, people were like making fun of me left and right. And then all of a sudden they're asking me like at this point in time, like, man, I would really love to start investing. And how do I start? And they get interested, which is a good thing. And if you were able to help your obviously your parents and your friends and your family and godchildren, that's all. I mean, that's literally incredible what you guys are doing. So proud of you guys.
Yeah.
And it makes like honestly, I think a big deterrent to like having kids for us, like originally was like, how do people afford kids? Like, oh my God, all of our friends with kids say that they're making the most money they've ever made in their life and they're the poorest they've ever been. And that sounds miserable. And like, I think like this has this like power that we now have. And like, it feels empowering, to have control over your finances. Like, it feels like, okay, we could do this and like we could actually live a good quality life and like we have no desire to live extravagantly. Like those aren't the things that matter to us in any way. So like as long as we stay that way, like it really shouldn't be a problem to live the life of our dreams.
That's phenomenal here, guys. I'm super proud of you guys. Everything and that's such a freeing feeling, the empowerment side, especially like with kids. A lot of people feel stressed or pressured they can't have kids right now. That's the problem. But like you said, once you figure it out, it's more empowering. It was amazing. What else can we help you with, guys?
Dude, that's what I was just gonna say. It's like I feel like well, first off, clearly I've had experience doing different courses, and yours was designed. I don't want to say like so like simple because it's not to like undermine the value of it, but like
100%.
so easy to follow, right? That like a fourth grader could do it. In fact,
Yep.
shit, fourth graders should be doing this shit so they know how to start early.
Yes.
But no, it was props to the design of the course. I think everything's great. The only thing that I feel like I would want if you can like make a module like this, or I don't know, maybe even like bring on a Monday speaker or something like that, is actually like how to afford kids. Because like not to be like bad, but like a lot of poor people out there that have like shit, the people that live across from us, they have like 6 kids and they're
Yeah.
clearly poor as hell. Like I don't know how the hell they afford that. And even some of my other friends who are making like upwards of 300K, like I know they're outreaching what they can actually afford in a house, but it's because
Yep.
they have 2, 3 kids and they tell me like, dude, I'm so poor, but I'm making the most money I've ever made in my life. I don't know. I feel like that could be a valuable thing, like teaching
Oh,
people how to
100%.
responsibly afford kids.
I almost feel like I could even do that myself, like a lesson like with like Logan's situation, because like Logan cost us a lot of money to say the least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we have it all documented. So like we have two now, obviously. I could probably speak on that a little bit too. Because I know a lot of people do bring that up. They're like, man, like what if I want to have kids, I want to have multiple kids, like I just don't know if I can. What's the actual cost? There's like averages out there of like what is it, like $250,000 over an 18-year period you spend on average. Don't know how true that is, but it's pretty insane. Let me think about that. Let me talk to Tom and let's get a guest expert on, or maybe myself, craft a presentation and put that together.
Yeah, that would honestly be killer. Cause
Yeah.
I get excited about the thought of being able to like get our kids started from a young age. And I'm like, I mean, yeah, obviously a little jealous. Like, man, like I started working at 15. Like I've been working for so long. If somebody had just like, and my mom, I give my mom credit. Like I was investing, she's like, she nagged at me enough to get things set up, but I was always like, no, mom, I don't want to listen to you. If she had just been like, take this course, like, please trust me, take this course. And then, like I probably would have listened and then done even more, but at least I did the bare minimum of what she nudged me enough to do, which is
Sure.
more than most people. But man, if I had like taken this course when I was in high school and started working, I literally would have been like so stoked at what I could do with my future. And it makes me excited for our kids because when I was growing up, I was like, oh man, like if I want to be anybody in life or have a decent life, I got to be a doctor, I got to be a lawyer, like, and none of those things sounded like what I wanted to do. And honestly, my friends who are doing that, like they brag about how much money they're making, and I'm still like, your life sounds miserable, And
Yeah.
now I'm like, my kids, like, I can empower them with this type of knowledge so that they could literally know that they can be anything that they want to be in this world and they don't have to be tied to a job. Like they can do what they love because they know they've set themselves up for success in life.
That's phenomenal here, guys.